Hi everyone, it's Miss Celeste here. I'm your professor for ECE 602 Child, Family, and Community course that you are taking. We are on week 2, part 6 of our journey through our course objectives. Before we get started though, I just want to make sure that we are completing the assignments, journals, discussions, and really getting familiar with that practicum that is required for this course. I won't go into much detail about each of these assignments, but you can definitely get that in Canvas under each assignment, specifically under week 2. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'll be more than happy to support you. So today we are going to focus on the ability to support the process of power and control in children. We all know, right, that power control is something that children experience fairly young. They want you to know that they are present, that they can make decisions, that they are capable. But there's so many learning opportunities that are happening within that process. So tonight we're going to, talk about what is power and control and kind of what that looks like. What are DAPs? And also parent support. How can we support parents? How can parents support their child, specifically within that process? Because we have to remember that parents do need support, and they also need it often, although they may not ask as often as, we may want. But it's not to say that they don't have any questions, about it. So the behaviors discussed, such as like saying no, exploring the world, learning self-help skills, and gaining a sense of possession, all have to do with issues of power and control. But we also have to remember that just as infants came to experience a sense of power through, signaling their needs and satisfying them by means of the adults around them, so do the toddlers need to experience a sense of power through these typical toddler behaviors, such as saying no, exploring the world, learning through self-help skills, and gaining a sense of possession. But what is, power and control? What does that look like? Well, understanding power helps you reduce power struggles and tantrums. So power, control, and attention are the 3 things every human needs. Power, control, and attention are the 3 things that we need. Your child is no exception. So consider what areas of your child's daily life you can give them the sense that they are in control while still maintaining your appropriate position of authority as the parent. So of course they can't have control, right, in all perspectives and in all situations, but there are moments that they can definitely lead themselves and make decisions. But here's a quick example of 2 scenarios of a child who is gaining the feeling of power, control, and attention in a negative way, and then here's a positive scenario. So path 1, kids can gain the feeling of power, control, and attention in negative ways, which includes throwing tantrums and power struggles. So that's how they're communicating to us when they maybe aren't getting their way, and that's the negative approach to power, control, and attention. But if a kid can gain the feeling of power, control, and attention in a positive ways, it's like, when they're giving appropriate choices, offering opportunities for freedom, you can pre-select for them and making time to play with them in a focused manner. That is what's going to create that positive power, control, and attention, that a child is giving you. So when they're not able to make choices or have the freedom really to make choices, they're not able to experience that power, control, and attention. And they really need to kind of go through that process. So also when they're not with you, they know how to make choices. They're independent. They're able to confidently kind of lead themselves, because there's going to be many situations, such as going to school and being in that environment, that you're not going to be as present on, with, or in, for that matter, with your child. So we have to encourage parents to kind of shift their way of thinking in some areas when it comes to power, control, and attention. But power struggles and tantrums are going to keep happening more often, lasting longer, and getting more intense. Excuse me. If you don't start making, different choices or different decisions to offer opportunities for positive outcomes or positiveness overall. So try to really reevaluate how you handle this in the classroom when children are having tantrums or power struggles. How do you navigate that? How do you kind of get them to better understand, how to react more in a positive sense? Are you giving them a lot of choices in the classroom to make decisions? Are you giving them a freedom to choose, what they want to work on, what they want to play with, who they want to play with? You give them opportunities to engage with you, the teacher, and one-on-one specifically. And if these things are not happening just yet, I encourage you to kind of readjust how you are leading that, to allow them a little bit more power, control, and attention. I did want to talk just a little bit about DAPs, which are developmentally appropriate practices. And what that looks like is when toddlers spend their time in an environment that is appropriate for their age and encourages explorations, they won't be faced with so many no's, right? So if they have, to hear the word no, or, if they can't do something, they may, decrease their own usage of the word. So it's worth, really encouraging parents to think about what kind of environment says yes more often, right? So to toddlers, they really need to, be among that yes environment, which means we have to arrange things so that, the toddler spends their time, making choices, being independent, exploring that environment on their own, being more self-sufficient, really creating that developmentally appropriate, environment just for them, right? So we really have to readjust how we kind of lead that, and organize and set up that classroom for success, which is a big part of having positive outcomes, for children's learning. So supporting parents, so what can parents do, most importantly, to support their child? And also what can we do to support that child? Well, we can encourage children to do for themselves, definitely things that they're capable of. Please don't do things for them that they are more than able to do for themselves. Let them lead, let them put on their shoes, let them get dressed, let them, clean up after themselves, let them, just do more that they are definitely capable of, because when you're not allowing them to do those simple tasks, they're definitely not going to want to do the big ones. So we have to start small, and we have to show them, and they also have to show us that they're capable of doing it, and that's also part of the learning. We also have to give them choices. We have to provide opportunities for control, asking them, what they think, or what choices, they want. Just as simple as, choosing crayons, markers, or colored pencils to draw with. Give them choices. Let them decide what they'd rather use. Just simple choices can be just as meaningful. So please don't forget that. And also, setting limits so they understand the expectation, but also giving a little bit more verbiage behind that of why that limit is set to that tone. Especially those older children, because we need to give them words to why things are happening the way they're happening. Because we also want to encourage them to share their thoughts and feelings, with a little bit more detail. So we also need to speak in those words as well. So thank you again. This has been so much fun talking about power and control, and I hope this has been really helpful for you. Please reach out if you have any questions. My email is there. I'll be happy to meet with you more one-on-one. But till then, I will see you at our live session. Take care and stay healthy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.